What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Divorced Sistas. This is Season 1, Episode 8, and the episode is titled Birds of a Feather. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So we actually start this episode off with Rashida saying that she is done with Naomi at this point, because Naomi decided to show the ladies a video of Myron basically professing his love for Jefferson, even though none of this gave that Jefferson and Myron had something going on. It just sounded like Myron had a crush on Jefferson. Now, if I'm being honest, I just feel like Naomi is the worst type of friend to have at this point, because why would you go that low? And Rashida, she goes around the room and asks everybody, like, do y'all believe this? And Tiffany pipes up and she's like, oh, there's rumors in the streets that there's something going on between these two men. And I'm like, well, what kind of friend are you? Because you didn't tell her? You didn't tell your friend that these are the rumors in the streets? And then it was like, I thought you already knew that. Y'all, Tiffany gets on my nerves. I'm sorry, but she absolutely does. This woman is so wrapped up in Javon, who is a man that she just met, yesterday? And it's like, girl, get your head in the game. So now Rashida, she wants to address this, and she goes to get her husband. So she gets her husband, Myron comes in, and they play the video. So Myron, baby, one thing about him is that he gonna act so bad. He's not a good actor. I'm sorry. I don't know what type of casting call they went through in the process, but he shouldn't have gotten the role, because my God, acting horrible. But nonetheless, he's trying to muster up some type of emotion, and he's still over here lying, saying that he was talking to his wife. Like, dude, we absolutely know that you were not, but if this helps you sleep at night. So Naomi, she is up piping up, and she's like, oh, well, how long have y'all been messing around? And I'm just like, did you not listen to that phone conversation? Because nothing in this conversation said that they were hooking up. It's very clear that Myron has a crush on the pastor. So Bridget was like, you gotta show some respect, because this is the pastor. Bridget, scoot back. I feel like you have more heart to pipe up about the pastor, but you can't stand up for yourself when Naomi is coming at you crazy. So you can go ahead and sit this one out. So at that point, they want to know who he was talking to on the phone. And Rashida, she's like, okay, since you're not really going to answer the question because he refuses to answer, Rashida asks him if he's in love with her husband, and he denies it. Now, according to the pastor, at some point he got a weird email where somebody was saying that, oh yeah, there's somebody working in the church with you that really likes you and they'll do anything for you. Yeah, it's giving it was Myron. However, he's like, I got the email from an anonymous email. Like, I don't know who that was. So Geneva pipes up and she's like, oh, I can figure out who that was and sent that to you. And I'm like, probably Myron. Pastor Jefferson, he goes on to make it clear that he's with Rashida and only Rashida. He's not about to play these games to make it seem like him and Myron got anything going on. And at that point, y'all, Rashida is again very done with Naomi. And she literally told the other ladies, like, listen, I am not going to allow Naomi to treat me how her ex-husband, Franklin, treats her. You're not about to go ahead and dogpile on me. You're not about to dog me out. No, we're not doing that over here. And honestly, I am not mad at Rashida for this. Like, Naomi, you went so low because you went in on everybody. And it was like, what was the point of that? And them supposed to be your homegirls. They here to support you. What was the point of you lashing out like that? That's crazy. Basically, I think Rashida told Bridget to go ahead and take her car back to the church because she gonna ride with her husband, right? I said, okay, cool. Moving on from there, Myron, y'all, he's still there. He's still at the house because at this point, he ain't got no ride. So Bridget is like, okay, I'll give you a ride, like, whatever. And next thing y'all know, when they walk out the house, why is the police there? Baby, Naomi got served. Franklin is now suing her for $50 million. And at this point, I don't even feel bad for her. I cannot feel bad for Naomi with all the things that she got going on. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So then we get into the car with Rashida and Jefferson, y'all. And she assures him that, everything is going to be fine. Don't worry about the girls' opinions. Like, that's not even a concern. Then they talk about the fact that she has always had her eyes on Myron. Baby, one thing about Rashida, she got her eyes everywhere. She checked the ladies who try to come at her man. She checking Myron who trying to get with her man. Baby, can't nobody get with Jefferson but Rashida. You hear me? What sucks though is that they're like, he's the best assistant. Like, he's the best assistant that Jefferson has ever had. But Jefferson's like, well, dang, now I don't have to fire him. And she's like, nah, I don't think you could do that, because then this could lead to something else. Like, if you fire him, this could lead to being sued. This could be him saying that, you did this out of spite. Like, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to let things play out, right? Now, y'all, I cannot lie. There were a few moments in this car conversation that I laughed. Because, number one, Jefferson, I'm not understanding how blind you were to not see the signs. Okay? That's number one. But also, Jefferson, he said, what would I do without you, Rashida? And she said, be in love with Myron. So then his response to that, though, was really took me out, because he said, now look, nigga. I'm sorry, that was funny to me. Like, their little funny moments in this car, I say, okay, now I get it. I understand. At the base of their relationship, like, there were definitely some good moments. Did we see a huge rough patch? For sure. But I get it now. So, next thing you know, they start talking about their son. And Rashida is like, listen, he is getting out of hand. I don't know where we went wrong, but you got to check him. Baby, she wants the son to pee in a cup because she thinks he may have some type of, like, drug addiction or something. And she says that the son has been disrespectful. And baby, she wants Jeff to cuss him out, okay? He like, cuss our son out. She's like, yeah, cuss him out. So, again, I end up laughing at this damn episode because of these two. Because at one point, I guess the heat warmer was turned on, right? So then she's like, oh, so what's going on? Have you noticed anything? And he was like, what, Rashida? So then she like looked, I guess, at the buttons in the car. So I guess it finally dawned on him, because y'all know Jefferson is slow, that the seat warmer was on. And I guess he thought that she turned him on. And she's like, nah, that was Myron, because he got to the car before I did. Yeah, that's Myron keeping your butt warm. I cackled. Baby, the back and forth with these two, with these jokes, I'm liking it, okay? I do like this side of Jefferson and Rashida. And one thing that I will say is that, y'all, I have never seen Devon Franklin act. And I absolutely love when LaToya acts. But I can't lie, y'all. These two, they are not doing too bad, okay? In the acting department. Like, I feel like they may be my favorites so far. But let's go ahead and move on. So, we go to the other car, right? And basically, it's Bridget and Tiffany, because y'all know Geneva rode by herself. Now, Bridget, she is yapping to Tiffany all about Rashida, and how Rashida, she be all up in the pastor business, how she got all his passwords and everything. I'm like, girl, why are you telling her this? Like, what are we doing here? But then I had to remember that those two went to the nail shop together and they were blabbing again. So this is like their way of conversing, is spreading drama about the other ladies, okay? They know everybody's secrets, so they just tell each other, okay? So then they start to talk about Naomi and how Franklin is about to take all her money. And they're just kind of like, yo, what is she going to do without her money? And according to Tiffany, she's like, oh, she's definitely going to feel it because she feeling it. Y'all know, Tiff, she got to pay her ex-husband alimony. Now, y'all, why she only gotta pay $600? And I get it, $600 is not, a little bit of money. It's quite a lot. But I thought she was gonna be paying in the thousands. I don't know why I thought that. Like, I thought she was gonna owe like big money. I'm like, oh girl, you owe the same as like child support. Okay, cool. So then they end up letting us know that Naomi has not worked. Naomi has not worked ever since she met Franklin. Baby, that explains a lot when it comes to her character. But we're going to go ahead and move on. So they make it back to the church, and Tiffany skips off, y'all, because she's like, ooh, I have to get ready for my date. Girl, we don't care about you and Javon. So then Bridget, she sees Myron or whatever. They have a conversation. Y'all, here he go with this bad acting. And he's whining and wiping imaginary tears because he thinks that he's about to get fired. And Bridget is like, yo, just come back fresh tomorrow. It'll be fine. And Bridget ends up asking him, like, is he actually, like, into the pastor? And he, of course, denies it. He denies it yet again. And she's like, listen, don't nobody care if you're bi or if you're gay. Like, just be yourself at this point. And then she asked him who was he on the phone with. And again, he doesn't give an answer. And she's like, okay, well, why were you talking to them on the phone like that? Like, why were you talking about the pastor over the phone with this person in the way that you were talking about him? And he's like, I wasn't. Y'all, the way this man can just lie to everybody's face is crazy. So she tells him, listen, you can go ahead and go lie to whoever you was on the phone with, but come to me when you got the truth to tell. When you want to talk about the truth, baby, come see me. And baby, I like Bridget in this moment because I am tired of him playing at everybody's face at this point. Sir, you need to go have a conversation with yourself. Because how are you on the phone telling somebody how he's making you jealous, but now you act like you don't like that man? Sir, stand in your truth. So next thing you know, Pastor and the First Lady, they pull up, and basically all we saw was Bridget and Rashida say goodbye to each other, and Rashida say again that she is done with Naomi. And Bridget's like, yeah, I should be done with her too. And Rashida said, yeah, you'll be done when you tired. I said, ooh, truer words, baby. That damn Rashida, she be knowing what to say. You hear me? When you get tired of somebody dogging you out and treating you bad, you will leave the people alone. Y'all, we jump on over to Tiffany, and she's at home, right? She gets a call from Javon. We learn that he wants to buy the house that's right next door to Geneva. And on top of that, he's like, yeah, so I'm so ready to get out of living in a hotel right now. Y'all, why did she say you're in a hotel? I'm sorry. Girl, you knew that he just moved back to this city. What are you talking about? Like, oh God, Tiffany gets on my nerves. Now, besides that, we have Javon asking her how spontaneous she is. And I'm just like, where is this going? Y'all, he said, would you take a trip with me? And this heifer said, yeah, you've only known this man for a day and some change. A day and a half, honestly. What do you mean you would go somewhere with him? Like, are you mentally okay? So then he's like, let's go to Italy with William and Geneva. Girl, this is weird. First of all, you as a friend already know that this couple needs to go on this trip because they've had, some rocky moments. This will be the first time that they're taking a trip without having their daughter. Why would you even want to impose? And, girl, you're the one who's supposed to be watching Anika, even though we've had multiple conversations about you passing the responsibility off. So after that, she's trying to be rational, but not rational enough for me. She's like, I'm supposed to watch Anika. And what pissed me off is that he's like, well, can't Rashida watch her? Nigga, you ain't even in this friend group like that. School back. So then Tiff is like, oh, I gotta talk to Geneva about this. And he's like, oh, no, don't do that. And I'm like, girl, you don't see that as a red flag? And he's like, well, she's just gonna talk you out of it. Dude, you're trying to piggyback off another couple's trip. She should be talking you out of it.
Do you hear how crazy you sound? Like, girl, Tiffany, get this man off your phone. Because this is weird. So at this point, he's like, well, just let me talk to William about it. And then she lets him know that Geneva has been avoiding her lately. Y'all, get Tiffany. First of all, it's been a day. It's literally been a day. You're like, she's been avoiding me lately. Baby, it ain't even been 24 hours. Tiffany, stop trying to make things about you. God damn. Moving on, we see wacky ass Naomi. She calls Hakeem and tells him to meet her at the bank. He said which one, which is a valid response. And her reply is, figure it out. I'm like, girl, what? And then says that he saw the bank statement sitting on the table, so he know the address. Why would he even see that? Why would he see your bank statements? Y'all, come get Naomi. She's ridiculous. And then it gets worse because we figure out that she's now at the hospital and she's harassing her ex-husband, saying how she came to see his white girl turn brown. Come get her, please, somebody. I want Naomi to go to jail and take Franklin with you. Like, this whole scene was deranged. Also, her acting, I don't know if it would be better for a Tubi movie or for a soap opera. But it's not giving a scripted show that's like a drama. I don't know. But nonetheless, baby, and a whole nurse came in trying to tell Naomi that she gotta leave. She hollered for security. That did nothing. And then Naomi gonna hit that girl in the back with some flowers, some like black dead flowers, and run off. What are we doing? Like, this man just served you and that was your bright idea? Throw her ass in jail. So then we jump over to Tiff. She calls Rashida to tell her about Javon inviting her to William and Geneva's trip. And y'all, this conversation just makes Tiffany seem not only dumb and gullible, but also thirsty. Like, why does she say that she thinks that this is a good idea for them to get to know each other on another couple's trip? How does that make sense to you? You mean to tell me you met this man yesterday and you can't get to know him in Atlanta? What are we doing? So now Rashida is like, but aren't you the one that's supposed to be watching Anika? And now Tiff is like, well, you could do it. Girl, no. Rashida got enough going on. So Rashida's like, listen, you need to take your time to get to know this man, okay? And Tiff is like, you sound like Geneva. I'm like, she don't sound like Geneva. She sounds like a friend who's like, girl, you just met this man yesterday. Why are you trying to travel the world with him? That's weird. Like, you sound delusional. So then Rashida told her not to go to Italy. And Tiff, she's like, okay, I won't go to Italy. I'm sorry, but Tiffany, girl, I can't stand your character. But moving on, we see Naomi and Hakeem there at the bank. She shows him the money that was in the security deposit box, right? Now, according to him, he's like, what's stopping me from taking this money? Like, I can literally hit you over the head and take the money and dip. And she's like, no, because I've done research on you and you have a daughter and blah, blah, blah. Girl, if you did all that research on that man, then maybe you should have chose a better hitter. Because he's not giving that he is really down to, like, take somebody out. Why didn't you find a real shooter? Girl, you should have went to Chicago for that. Because let me tell you something. The Shy, baby, everybody a shooter over there. But that is a total different show. But besides that, he's like, okay, so where's my little cut? Y'all, she won't even give him the $10,000 that she said that she would give him. So he's like, I'm not doing anything for you if you're not going to give me nothing. So she's like, well, I'm not going to give you nothing. And he tells her F you, and she ends up questioning why he's wasting her time. Wasting your time? Wasting your time? Y'all come get Naomi. Like, this is stupid. Like, at this point, I really want him and his boys to rob her because she's stupid. How is it that you're asking him to kill your husband, your ex-husband? You won't pay him any money for it, but swear you gonna give him $1 million. Girl, he don't know you, you don't know him. Like, why are we trying to make verbal agreements? Moving on, we see Myron, and he goes back into the church and goes to the pastor's office, and he's like, I'm just here to pack up my things. And Jefferson ain't even trying to fire this man, but he does question, like, who was you on the phone with? And y'all, according to Myron, it was a member of the church. And now basically the pastor is like, well, who was that person? And Myron's like, I don't want to get them in trouble. Y'all, he's so full of it. So basically the pastor is like, listen, whatever feelings that you got going on, you need to go work that out with a therapist. And please know that me and you, we will never be a thing. So you can go ahead and let that little dream go. Now, Myron, he definitely needs to have an honest conversation with himself. But I feel like some type of way is going to be some mess, because we need to figure out who he was on that phone with, okay? Like, Myron, you still got your little job and all, but I need to know who you were talking to. But let's go ahead and move on, because we go over to William and Geneva house, right? And y'all, why is Javon there? Like, why is he cooking a steak for Geneva? William, you can't cook a steak? Baby, it ain't that hard. Like, oh my God, it's the perfect sear. Boy, if you don't get on TikTok and YouTube and look up how to cook a steak, don't be having Javon over this lady house like this. But what's crazy is that, like, Javon is literally taunting her in her husband's face. So I'm like, wait a second, are these men in on it together? I'm trying to understand. So then they spring the idea on Geneva of Tiffany and Javon coming with them to Italy. And y'all, it's crazy because William is the one that's leading the conversation. Like, why would we do a double date in Italy? It doesn't even make sense. So then we hear some screaming, and basically Anika fell off the swings. Y'all, did she fall on glass or something? I'm trying to understand, because Javon is like, put some pressure on the wound. The wound? What'd she do, scrape her knee? Let's just go ahead and move on. So we actually see Rashida, she catches her son stealing money, right? And she tells him that at this point she needs for him to pee in the cup, because at this point she's trying to figure out what is going on with her son. Does he have like a drug problem? Like, why do you keep getting money? We already gave you money. Like, what is going on, right? So he ends up grabbing her arms. It's like, give me the money, baby. It's definitely giving drugs. It's definitely giving he owe a debt. What's going on here? So y'all, I feel so bad for Rashida in that moment, because you can see it in her eyes that she went back to that place from that college experience, okay, with him grabbing her saying, don't make me hurt you. So after that, he ends up leaving out of the room, and you can tell that Rashida is completely shaken up at this point, because at no point did she ever think, especially as a mother to this man, or should I say this child, that he would react in the way that he did. You know what I mean? So the daughter, she ends up coming into the room, and she's like questioning if her mom is okay. And Rashida has to like snap out of the phase that she's in and put on that facade, like everything's okay, I'm good, when it's very clear she is not okay. Did y'all peep that wad of money that was in her hand, though? I said, now, sir, where was you going with all that money? Because it was not like, some chump change. But moving on from there, we go over to the hospital, right? The nanny is apologizing because, she would never want anything bad to happen to Anika. And here's the thing. The nanny said that she looked away for a second. And y'all, I could not make out what Geneva said. Like, I tried to replay it so many times, I couldn't figure out what was coming out of her mouth. The only thing that I understood is that she felt like the nanny should have known better, considering Anika was a preemie. Girl, what that got to do with anything? Anika being a preemie has nothing to do with her falling off the swings. If you don't get up out of here with that. So then she ends up telling the nanny to leave. And William is trying to, calm down the situation. But once Geneva's mind is made up, it's over. Now, y'all, as we see the nanny leave, right? Guess who pops up? Tiffany. I'm like, girl, why are you here? But according to her, Javon invited her. Okay, overstepping. And Geneva is like, yeah, I need y'all to leave. And she goes on to say that Anika will be okay. And that at this point, they just need some family time. Here goes Tiff. Well, I mean, we are a family. Girl, stop giving pushback. This is this lady's child. If she don't need you here, she don't need you here. I'm telling y'all, Tiff gets on my last nerve. So, the doctor ends up coming over, and we find out that this little girl now needs a blood transfusion. I'm like, well, what kind of fall was this? Like, girl, I need to see the video footage, because the nanny swears she only looked away for a second, and she fell off, I think, the swings. Hell, I know kids who used to jump off the swings. I'm trying to understand, what did she hit? Nonetheless, William, he volunteers his tribute, like, oh yeah, I can go ahead and donate blood. And the lady like, no, I think Geneva should do it. Now, William, he's like, oh no, because Geneva don't like needles, I'll do it. And she's like, no, I think that Geneva should be the person. And they're like, okay, what's going on? So the doctor, she's like, okay, you know what? We can go ahead and get an outside donor. And Dad was like, what's going on? Because I should be able to give my daughter blood. You know, William is upset. So Geneva, the lady trying to pull Geneva to the side. Geneva's like, anything you have to say to me, you can say it right here. Geneva, you know there's a possibility that this man ain't the daddy. Why are you playing right now? This is not the time for this. Like, it is so crazy to me that the doctor was really trying to throw Geneva a bone and she was not picking up at all. I'm like, girl, come on now. You the one who got to live with the lie. And baby, this is where things hit the fan, because we learned that Anika's blood type is AB. And according to William, his blood type is O. And there's no way that they have the same blood type. So at this point, William is kind of hot. And he like, what is going on? Because, baby, that's how you know that ain't your child, baby. And my whole thing is, you got to look at the nigga behind you. Yeah, your homeboy, that's the daddy. That's who the daddy is. Geneva just sitting there looking stuck on stupid, y'all. And that is where we end. Now, I'm not sure if this was the season finale or if they're just going to put like a break in the middle of the season. I'm not really sure. But I will say, so far, the bones of this show is pretty good. Some of the acting is good. Some of it isn't. And I do like these storylines. My issue is that we've only had, 2 days pass? And it's been 8 episodes? Maybe 3 days? Tyler, I need you to speed it up just a bit, okay? Because, my God, we can't do every episode be at least 1 day. Because, like, as a viewer, I can't say that there's so many things that are always going on in Tyler Perry shows, and everything's happening all at once. I kind of feel like there's some elements in the storylines that don't make sense. For example, Tiff being so head over heels for Javon, and she just met him ready to fly across the world to go on like a weekend vacation with him. Like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, the show's alright. I can't knock it. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. What do y'all think about the season? Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.